This is the Cayenne long thin. Let's see what we got going here. It looks like this pepper may not make it. See, when they get yellow like that, you just yank them off, because that means that they're not gonna, they didn't take. Like here is one right here. I just take them off. They're gonna fall off anyway, so just get them out of the way. This is of the smooth stem variety. This is like not really a narrow leaf, but so far I don't see any broad leaves on here. But the leaves, they're like a standard type of a leaf, sort of like a bell pepper type leaf. Here's the flowers are white, and this looks like it's going to be a very generous producer. Hopefully this year I will see maybe a few hundred come off of this plant, I would imagine. We'll see by the end of the year. I'm expecting quite a few peppers to come off, and if you notice, all pepper plants throw out their pepper when the stem splits. So the more that top splits, the more peppers you will get. That's why at the very top you'll see right here, you'll see like a bunch of them coming out. That means you're going to get a bunch of splits out of there, and it'll keep splitting and splitting and splitting. And then at the end of the year, you just cut those tops off, and then you put the plant into dormancy once it gets cold, and you can bring them indoors. You got to leave some foliage on it though, and it does need some light. Doesn't need much, but it needs some light, and it needs to keep some of the foliage on it. I'll show you how to prune these back in the fall when we get close to that period of time, because some of these I'm probably going to bring in, and I'll show you how I winter my pepper plants over and bring them in for the winter. Now I have about 40 plants that I bring in every year as it is right now, so I don't know if I'm going to physically bring any more of these in. I may transfer them to larger pots that I have indoors, but I will show you my pepper plants that I winter over, and how I winter them over, and how I bring them out. I have plants I can show you that some of them are 3 years old now, some of them are 2 years old, and you can see they virtually become like a bush or a tree. And we'll go over that in another video on how I winter them over. I can't explain the whole thing in this video, but anyways, here's one of the peppers, the long Cayenne, long thin Cayenne. This is a baby, but that's quite big for a little baby. Here's another one coming out like a hook. Another one in the back. You can see it doing its little thing there. All right. Flowers are white. Smooth stem. A little bit, it's not necessarily a narrow leaf. This is more like, this would be a narrow leaf to me. It's very longer. Even though it might get more larger, this one's more of like a rounder, but not quite habanero round like that. This is more like almost like a standard variety of pepper leaf. This isn't the more exotic, thinner leaves or hairy or anything like that. And again, you can see the blackening, darkening up at the nodes. There's the flower once again. They're white flower, and this particular plant's about 18 inches tall, maybe more closer to 2 feet. I don't have a tape measure or nothing. And that's it. That's the Cayenne long thin.